Hey, what's up, guys? It's good to be back with you, and we're going to have something that's a little bit unusual here today. So for the first time in, I think, over a year on this channel, I'm going to do a little bit of, I guess we can call a Let's Play video. We're going to go back to FM17, and we're going to start playing through the save together. I haven't really had time to do as much playing in the save as I've wanted to until really today, New Year's Eve. And so we're going to go take a look at it together and sort of see what's going on. So we're about to play our first match. As you can see here, I've taken over TSV Bobingen. Bobingen, if you're not aware, is near Augsburg. It's a small town. I'm not even sure where the population is, maybe a couple thousand. This is a very, very small team in, I think, the 7th tier of the German league. Anyway, we have a whole bunch of problems to run into here. I'll just show you this really quickly. The biggest problem that we have is that our biggest star player, here he is, Søren Eggersglus, ended up injuring his Achilles tendon during a friendly, which means that he's going to be out for 7 to 9 months. Our other problem is that our team is no good. So if you look at our schedule, we had a hard time beating our own under-19s team, and we lost to them in the most recent match. Never mind these teams up here that are like 2 or 3 rungs above us in the tier rankings, and our under-19s team only has 2 actual players. There's another problem that I observed before. So I was trying to record this a little bit earlier today, and the game completely crashed on me, which is not a good sign. So we'll see if we can look out for what happened there and what we can do to solve it. The thing that I noticed a little bit earlier, though, is when you go over to competitions and over here to the Bezirksliga Schwaben Süd, and then you go over to rules, there's a rule I wasn't aware of, which is players under 17 on January 1st, 2017 are not allowed to play. That's going to be a major problem for us because a lot of our players are under 17, including some of our best players. So I'm not exactly sure how this is going to work. Like everybody's ineligible to play. It's going to take probably about a season for them to be eligible. So we'll see exactly what happens. But never fear, I'm going to make, assuming that this actually works, I'm going to make quite a bit of content based around this. And we'll have a lot of fun trying to figure this out together. Just so you know, the tactic we're using is actually a downloaded tactic. I know, shame on me. They're calling this the 3-7-0. That's not entirely true. It's a 3-4-3-0, but whatever. It hasn't done us any good so far in the friendlies. So we'll see what we can do here. Anyway, we've got a lot of things set up so that the computer is going to do this automatically. Apologies for the noise in the background. We're going to Dinkelscherben, which is another city or another town that's very close to Augsburg. I've actually never been to Dinkelscherben. I have been to Bobingen, though it was over 20 years ago when I was last there. So let's do a quick pick again and sort of see what we come up with. Do we really not have a goalkeeper who is eligible to play? This is going to be really interesting. So we'll see what we can do. There's a lot of little graphical glitches and stuff happening here. Just so you know, like the way that I'm running this is, since I use Linux, is a little bit sketchy. I have the assistant manager giving the team talk, so we don't have to worry too much about that. He's going to do all the press releases and everything too. And here we go. Now we're off, and let's see if we can actually get this to work. So I was playing around here a little bit with like the match stats, match overview and stuff. So we'll see what it is that we can... that we want to have up here on the screen. Anyway, I probably should have done a lot of that before, and as you can see, we're trying to play through this a little bit quickly so that we don't end up watching it forever. We are definitely in trouble here, but that's a good tackle there by Kurzu. And Vlasis over to Weiss. And so, anyway, we'll see what happens here. These are a lot of players who are not actually real players in the game, which makes it really, really interesting. It's going to be a lot of fun here this first season, so we'll see what happens. My only hope is that we can play the game without having it crash and do all sorts of weird stuff. Like I was saying, the reason why the game's crashing is in part because I'm using Linux, which means I'm using kind of a sketchy version of FM17. I do have, I think, an official, like a copy of like the official ISO. Here comes Weiss, and this looks really, really promising. And it's an awful finish, horrible shot. It would have been a heck of a goal. We should see a replay, I think, in 3D here in a second. Let's see if it actually pulls up, and that might be where we're having problems. Nope, it does pull up. How about that? So we could play everything in 3D if we wanted to. I prefer, though, using the classic 2D engine. Weiss was wide open, and that was just a really poor finish. He couldn't connect on that, and that was the end of that. So we'll see what happens here. Like I said, things are a little bit sketchy, kind of the way that I've been running this. And so we'll see if we can hold on, if we can sort of, use glue and duct tape to hold this together. We haven't given up any goals yet, which is really good. And I do like where this is going as well. Let's keep this up. And let's see what happens here in the second half. This is going a lot faster than it was before. And I don't think that pass was actually to Schmelich, which is a problem. It would be nice if we were on the same page somehow. So this is going to be the real interesting season as we wait for our players to actually become old enough. All of this, by the way, the editor data file that I'm using comes from the Meistertrainerforen, so the German language forums where somebody had made this really, really deep-reaching editor data file years ago for FM17. And I decided to use Bobingen because this file goes so deep. So we'll see what happens here in the end. I mean, if everything really starts to crap out and we give up a goal because our keeper is incapable of playing his position. I was going to say, if everything here really does crap out, then we'll just go back to FM like 24 or 23 or something and do something there. But I think we're going to give this a try first, and we'll probably try a couple of older versions as well. I mean, Wolfram here, had a good angle. Sure, it's partially the defender's fault, but we need to have an actual keeper in goal. And so just so you know, I'm planning on trying to play this without actually doing any transfers. We'll see if it's actually possible or not. Right now, it's not looking so possible, but you never know what's going to happen. We just need our players to be able to connect on passes with each other. Velasquez over to Lehmann, who is able to get to that. And does he know what to do with it? Kind of. Is cool now to Velasquez. And that ends up turning into nothing. The other thing I was trying to do with this is, here we go. Smaik, and ends up being saved, unfortunately. But that was a real chance. And hey, I mean, we're keeping it close. I was going to say, the other thing that I was trying to do with this is I was trying to make it so that we could get some of the match commentary audio to work with this. I know that you can do it in FM17 because all of the audio files are really easy to get to and can be modified, manipulated, and so on. But unfortunately, I haven't been able to get it to work yet. That's probably going to require a lot more effort and time than I'm necessarily willing to put into it. So we're just going to use all the default stuff, at least for now, and sort of see where it gets us. So far we're doing all right, I think. This team has not really been able to play together much, and we've been playing a lot with these youngsters who make up the bulk of our team, which of course is the problem because we can't play them. So this is going to be an interesting season. It looks like we're on our way to a swift 1-0 defeat, and we don't even have the ball in the correct half. Weiss does a great job, though, to get it off of him. Klappert is looking for Özkul, but it's nowhere close, and this isn't looking so good. Now, if you haven't seen it before, this is the 2D Classic Match Engine, which is excellent and which I really, really like the side of. And we're going to play every one of these games using at least this 2D Classic engine. So we're not too concerned about the result, I guess. We'll look at what the analysis here is here after the match. Dinkelscherben are better than us in the league. There's no question about that. So we knew that they were likely going to win this match. Our hope is that we want to somehow finish like above midpoint in the league. We'll see if we can actually do that this season. I'm not sure if I trust our ability to do that or not. So we'll see what happens. And of course, as I'm looking at this, I just realized that I left all the match sounds out of this video. So we'll fix that up with the next match that we play, and we'll figure it all out from there. So we'll have a little bit more here for you in the next match that we play, and I'll make sure that I get the settings right. I was kind of thrown off by it in hopes of making sure that the game didn't crash, which it didn't, which was pretty good. So yeah, we'll see again. I'll put the next match that we play up here as well, probably for free, and we'll kind of see where we go from there. Hope you're having a good New Year's, and I'll talk with you later. Bye.